What is up, Crockxen clan members? Movie fans, I guess we could call it this time. I'm SoresanCrockxen here with my first video back since I don't remember when I uploaded the Pokemon reminiscing video. I guess this is the first edited video I've done since like last year. Let's put it like that. So this is gonna talk about the Avengers movie. The Endgame came out a couple of weeks ago. I finally watched it yesterday for my 1 year anniversary with my girlfriend, and my mom had requested that I make a review for it as soon as I saw it. So here it is. Obviously, because it's a request from a viewer, it turns into a Viewer Friday. You guys remember those? Yeah. I haven't done one of these in years. Actually, well, it hasn't been really been years, but you know what I mean. So if there's any videos that you would like me to make, please let them in the comment section down below, and we'll get to work on those. I can't promise I'll be uploading them weekly, but when I do get one, I'll work on it as soon as I can, and then upload it, and it'll always go up on the Fridays. So I guess I don't know how I'm gonna do this, because I don't want. It's been out for 3 weeks, so I don't know if it's okay to be like, oh, I could just talk spoilers and whatever, or if I should still keep it spoilers free, because I waited 3 weeks, or I waited like 2.5 weeks to watch it. So I don't know if it's okay. Maybe there's other people who haven't been able to watch it, because I know like the tickets were being sold out for like, I know like the day it came out where I live, it was sold out for like 3 days. So I don't even know if everybody's actually had a chance to see the movie. So I guess my game plan is going to be, I'm going to try to give some things here and there, maybe things that were shown off in the trailers, and then maybe a couple things, but I'll like mark them as spoilers, so like, if you don't want to listen to them, then you can like mute the video, and then or like skip. I'll probably leave a time code in the description or in the comments or whatever, just so you skip those parts. But basically, I went in, and I guess I should probably give a brief history of the Marvel movies and how I've been with them and how I got to this point, basically. So my history with these movies is, I didn't watch any of the Iron Man films because I really don't like Iron Man, to be fair. I've always seen him as a discount Batman, and I've just never really been attached to the character, so I never really bothered to watch any of his movies because I just didn't care. And on top of that, I used to hear a lot about how the villains in those movies were actually really bad. So that gave me even less incentive to watch them, because if you don't have a compelling villain, it's not really going to make me care about the main character. So that's the problem with those movies. So I didn't watch any of those. I watched all 3 Captain America movies, because I actually like Captain America's character. I think the first of like the Captain America First Avenger movie was like probably the first one I actually fully saw. And then I loved Winter Soldier. That's actually one of my more favorites of the whole bunch. And then I loved Civil War. Well, I didn't really love it as much as I expected to, but it was definitely, like, looking back at it now, I like it more than I did when I first watched it, because there's a lot of things I didn't like about it, and there's some of those things I've basically just said that was just me being petty. But there is like maybe one thing I still have a gripe with it, but other than that, the movie was fine. I watched Doctor Strange. I watched Black Panther. I didn't care for Ant-Man, so I didn't watch either one of his movies. I saw the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I didn't like that, which means I didn't watch the second one. And then so I've seen all the Avengers movies. So the first one, the second one, and then I saw Infinity War, and then obviously this one. I didn't watch Captain Marvel because I didn't really care for Captain Marvel, and I didn't watch Homecoming because I'm still salty about how every Spider-Man movie goes into this weird direction, and I didn't want to see another origin story for Spider-Man, so I didn't watch that one. So there's a couple gaps here and there where there were movies that I didn't watch, but I probably should have. Oh, and the Thor movies, I forgot. How did I forget about Thor? So I only watched one Thor movie, and it's the last one, and the only reason why I watched it is because the Hulk was going to be in it. If it wasn't for the Hulk being in it, I was probably not going to watch that one either. So just saying. So that's my history with Avengers and the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe and all that stuff. So when I went into this movie, my first thought process is, okay, Infinity War was kind of meh in most portions of it. It was really good at the end. I liked the final fight. And I was very emotional with a lot of things that were happening in that movie. If you don't watch Infinity War, well, I'm going to spoil it for you. When Vision died, I was upset. And I actually cried a little bit with everything that happened with Scarlet Witch and Vision. But then I was pissed because freaking Thanos brought him back to life and then killed him off. So that pissed me off. Because like, really, he just died. Why you? So that was something that I was not happy with at all. But and there were certain parts of it that were like whatever. So when I went to this movie, I wanted to have really low expectations. I know everybody else was hyped up to no end. I actually was going in with low expectations because I haven't been the biggest fan of some of the Avengers movies. The only one I really liked the first one. The second one I did not like at all. And then Infinity War was like mixed feelings. So I did not want to go into this with high expectations because if the movie disappointed me, well, I was just going to be talking out of my ass and I was going to hate it. And then I'm going to be basically the one with the wrong opinions all the time because, that's just how it is with my channel all the time. So I went in, low expectations, but it's still expecting to enjoy most parts of the movie. So, first off, the length of the movie was ridiculously long. I understand it's a big ensemble, like this is the finale type of thing, but the movie was way too long, which is, I guess it's a plus and a negative. I know there's sometimes you want to have a longer movie so you can tell more story, but this one just felt like certain parts dragged on a little bit too much. I'm not going to go into specifics on certain areas because obviously the movie is still fresh and new, so I don't want to give too much information that might ruin surprises. But there are some scenes that I felt like were dragged on a little too long. In the beginning portion of the movie, if you watch the movie, I'm not going to say what happens, but it's literally like the first 10 minutes of the movie. Something happens, which I just sat there, like, so my girlfriend and I, we're sitting there in the theater. We see that and we're like, okay, so what happens now? Because if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Literally the beginning portion when they get to that one planet and they do that one thing and Thor does that one thing. Yeah, I'm not going to say what, but I literally thought, okay, so what the heck is the rest of the movie? Because that happened literally at the beginning of the movie, so I was a little confused, a little off. I didn't know what the heck to expect for the rest of it. Granted, what did end up happening was cool. I like most of the characters. I'm still not... I didn't really care for Iron Man in the beginning of the movie, and I didn't care for him in the middle portion of the movie, and I only really liked him somewhat at the end of the movie. Captain America I liked relatively, not too much at the beginning, a little bit in the middle, and then at the end he was badass. Thor was kind of weird with me. I don't know how I felt about him in the beginning. But they had some really cool scenes with Thor, and Rocket Raccoon always. He's great. Who else? The Hulk. I love what they did with Hulk. That was actually nice. I like what they did with him. I'm pretty sure I've seen the trailers. He's basically like a mix of Banner and the Hulk, so he's like merged into one. So I think that part is actually really cool. Mixing the brains and the brawn. I thought that was a nice touch. Black Widow's whole trauma and everything that was going on with her was really well done. I really liked basically what happened with her. And then freaking oh my god, Hawkeye was like the biggest. Alright, so as I mentioned, this part is going to contain a big spoiler, so I'm going to leave a timestamp in the description in the comments so you can skip this part. But I gotta say, Hawkeye was one of my favorite characters in this entire movie. If you think back at all the past Avengers movies, Hawkeye was that one-note type of character. He didn't really have too much screen time. He was kind of just there to be there. He was the other one, right? Every other Avenger had a point and a purpose for being in that area. But Hawkeye just felt like he was just a random add-on that they just put in there for no reason. Meanwhile, at the end of the last movie leading into this one, Infinity War leading into Endgame, they basically shifted the tone of the character completely, and they actually gave him something to actually shine. Because while I'm not a big stickler for vengeance and avenging stuff, and like most anime, usually the character that turns bad or evil or just completely psycho in the head, purely for vengeance purposes, I'm not really a big fan of it. AK, bringing back, if you watch anime, Sasuke, I was really against Sasuke as a character because most of his plot was because of this whole vengeance nonsense. But they did it so well for a Hawkeye, because in this scenario, he's not just going after anybody, right? He's taking the grief because he lost his family, literally his entire family, and basically going out and destroying and attacking and killing people who are deemed or considered bad or evil in terms of standard society settings. You have mobsters. There's a gang that was basically mistreating what little humanity or what little groups of people were left in the area. And basically his whole mindset is, okay, so all these innocent, nice, good, well-thought people had to die because of Thanos. Why do you still exist? Why are people like you, who are basically evil for this or bad for the sake of just being bad, why do you get to exist while all these other people get to go? Which gave him an actual character. He's now actually relevant because they give him focus and he's on screen for more time than any other movie. Granted, that might be because the movie itself is longer than any of the other ones. But the fact that they actually give him the time to show off his side. Like, they basically kept him a secret. Everybody should have known it was him from the get-go when they started mentioning everything and showing him off. That's the point. Even if they weren't showing it was him, we all knew it was him, which gave him even more spotlight, more screen time, and it fleshed him out even more. And the emotional ride that he went through from being this vigilante, this dark being who was basically on a murder street, go and lead into what was following the rest of the movie, getting back hope that he might be able to save his family and everything that happened in between, and including the final, like leading to the finale of the fight, was actually really cool. And I love the way they just made that character move and cycle through this movie, which basically made all the other previous installments irrelevant for him because they weren't, like, he didn't matter back then. But this one, he actually matters. Alright, so I'm not going to go full in details on this part of the video, but there is a point here, and only comic book fans will know this. This was not in the trailers, and I'm not going to spoil exactly what happens, but because Captain America is a pure of heart, near the finale of the movie, something badass happens that kind of was hinted at in like the first Avengers movie. So if you like think back over there, that might spoil it a little bit, but that part right there made him look like even more of a badass. And I was like nudging at my girlfriend. I was like, see, this is why Captain America's better than Iron Man, because she's an Iron Man fan and I'm Captain America fan. We got into an argument there. She wanted to punch me because of it. But I was like, see, Captain America, way better. Alright, so I'm going to bleep out what happens in this portion. But just know that there's a part where they're going to go back to get the Soul Stone, because that's the whole point. Trying to get back the Infinity Stones and all that stuff. When they're going to go get the Soul Stone, and I gotta say, that was the most traumatic thing in this, one of the most traumatic scenes in this movie. That really like hit me hard. I was like, no, what? It was like what was going on, the characters that were around involved in that specific area, and how it all went down. Oh my gosh, that was too much for me. It was too much. Now, I know this might upset some people, and you know, maybe I might get flagged for saying this. I know I didn't watch her movie, but I did not like Captain Marvel at all in this film. I had no... How do I put this? I don't want to spoil anything regarding Captain Marvel and what happens in the movie with her. But let's just say, I wasn't too fond of anything that happened revolving around her. I didn't care for her as a character. And I guess if I didn't... Because I didn't watch her movie, I might have had more sympathy with her or whatever. But I just generally did not care for her at all in this movie. Alright, so to summarize everything for this review, to end it off basically saying, I want to say, by going in with lower expectations, I ended up enjoying the movie a lot more than I would have if I had maybe stayed course with the basic expectations I've had for every single Marvel movie I go to, or at least the Avengers movies, because the rest of them are like, I always go in with mild or moderate, you know, hype or whatever, because it's a single movie for one character. Civil War ended up having that problem, is that I gave it too much hype, and that it ended up disappointing me. Granted, I like it more now, thinking back on it, than I did back then, but it's basically the same principle applies. So, by going into this movie with those low expectations, I actually was able to enjoy it a lot more, and the finale had a nice way of wrapping up the whole story by not leaving any loose ends. They were able to fix everything. Granted, some things didn't go as planned. Obviously, nothing ever nothing's ever perfect. There's a philosophy I live by. Nothing in this world ever is perfect. So, with what ended up happening, and the fact that they were able to tie up every loose end possible, at least from what I noticed, it gave this movie a strong ending, which is something that was lacking in the other ones. And I know that it's not that they were supposed to end. There's actually stuff that was going on afterwards, but I felt like sometimes there was too many loose ends to justify. Whereas in this one, everything was closed off in a neat little package, and the emotional stuff at the end really sold the finale off. Like, this is actually the end. There's nothing afterwards. There's supposed to be like this sound effect at the end of the movie. For those of you guys who end up staying till the after credits, I didn't stay because I didn't really care. But there's apparently a sound effect at the end that maybe you guys could stay after the credits and listen to it. I don't know what it is. I haven't looked it up. But overall, I like the movie. I don't do ratings because I'm not a movie critic, so I don't know how I would do it. But I do think out of all the Avengers movies, I still think the first one was the best one overall. And this one is like a very close second. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think over time, if I end up watching this one again, because I did watch the first Avengers movie like twice or 3 times, I think over time, Endgame could top the first movie. And I think it's because certain aspects of it just really sell well, and they're really portrayed well, and a lot of the characters are done really terribly well. So I think that it eventually could surpass the first one for me, but as of now, it's like a really close second. And then so it would be the first one, Endgame, Infinity War, and then a Revenge of Ultron, or whatever the frick it was called. That one was just complete garbage. But overall, I really like the movie. And that's it. I know that it's kind of like a generic end for this video, and but I don't know what else to say. It's a good movie. I highly suggest you watch it if you have the time. Make sure to go to the bathroom before you watch the movie, because it's really long. And yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below about the movie. Remember, no spoilers. There might be people out there who haven't seen the movie yet, so be wary of those things. But anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been SoresanCrockxen, and I'll see you guys in future videos.